Jamo Billy, I try to listen to your show every day, and I distinctly remember when you had Charlie Robinson on about a year ago. All of you on the show poured on the admiration for Charlie and his wife Emily and all the Dixie Chicks. It was a great show with plenty of great songs, and you guys just couldn't get enough of Charlie's humor, his music, or the stories behind his songs. Fast forward to the present. You guys have betrayed the Dixie Chicks, Charlie Robinson, and all your listeners.
Here we go.
Even though Emily didn't make the comment about President Bush, your new superhero, you have slammed all the Dixie Chicks with your comic skits and scathing negative remarks and proven to all your listeners that you will turn on a friend and stab him and his family in the back because you are so intolerant of others' comments that you don't agree with.
All hail.
Why don't you just turn your big show into the big campaign for Bush's reelection and crucify everyone that doesn't agree with you? You have discarded Charlie's friendship like a piece of used chewing gum. Now all your listeners know what kind of two-faced, backstabbing liars you are, and that don't give a rip about treating your guests and friends with any decency once they leave your building. Do yourself a favor. Don't let politics ruin any friendships you still might have. Tony Chevalier. Oliver?
Well. Chevalier, eh? Isn't this a delicious irony? Getting nailed to the wall for betraying those close to us by the hands-down, world-class, #1 authority on backstabbing, a Frenchman. Let me preach on it. Now, according to you, we at the Big Show showered this Charles Robinson fellow with accolades and adoration. As much as I hate to, I'll have to take your word for it. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup if my life depended on it. But the rest of the yokels here remember him and his music and his folksy, wokesy, long, drawn-out, pointless anecdotes with fondness. That is, until we found out he was married to a commie. Then, as you see it, we turned on a friend and stabbed him and his family in the back. For Pete's sake, you snail-eating jackass. You make it sound like we all grew up together and Charlie helped John Boy make the winning touchdown at the big homecoming game. He was in the studio for 15 minutes, and all of a sudden you got us making out under the mistletoe. Why, he was no different than any other boob who wanders in here. They don't come in here because they like us and want us to be one big inbred family. They're selling something. You know, like when France sold their dignity to the Nazis. And by the way, if we crucified everyone we disagreed with, we wouldn't be plagued with visits by notoriously despised nerve-wrackers like Racing Fat Boy and Astro Nerd.
Amen.
Look, Pierre, it's not our fault that Charlie Robinson doesn't have the stones to tell his old lady where to get off. Wouldn't be the first time a guest of the Big Show screwed himself over by being too whipped to put some crazy scud in her place. Why, I'll bet when they're at home, she even makes them dress alike. I've said it before, not all women are evil, just the two-faced, lying, big-headed, strong-willed, stupid ones. You launched your vitriolic attack on the Big Show like we're the only ones who ripped on the Dipsy Chicks. I certainly hope you've written similar letters to Jay Leno, David Letterman, Jimmy Kimmel, Wayne Brady, and the thousands and thousands of other radio shows that have done and said far worse than we here at the Big Show. I hope you also took time to contact everyone at the Country Music Association Awards who booed at the mention of their names. I mean, that would only be fair. Oh, that's right. You're French. Fairness doesn't mean jack diddly to you. Now, never being a fan of the ear-splitting caterwauling of the Dixie Pigs to begin with, I'm I'm not quite sure if Emily is cockeye or bottle blonde, but that's not the point. You're right when you say she never said anything about the president, but she never said anything contrary about Fat Girl's comments either. That's called complicity. That word is too big. How about guilt by association? Nice try, Frenchie. Leave it to a frog to look for a loophole. Your real bone of contention seems to be our support of President Bush. Well, yes, it is refreshing having a president that cares more about America than himself. And if that makes him our new superhero, as you call him, so be it. Hopefully, we'll have another 4 years without any stories about lying to Congress and the president crawling off the nearest intern to make a speech about how hard he's working for the American people. I guess you must have voted for that stiff Al Gore and hound dog Bill Clinton before him. I think I speak for all of us when I say, My, look at the time. I can't believe I've wasted all this valuable airspace answering another pointless letter. I should have just listened to the wise words of Jackie Curry Lynch, who upon reading your note summed it all up by saying, and I quote, "Oh, shut the hell up, you idiot." You go, girlfriend.